Hey y'all, it's Kara from Wellness Witness with your Monday morning motivation video. I wanted to share with you what the Lord has been teaching me. It's from Numbers chapter 11. Here's verse 1. Soon the people began to complain about their hardship, and the Lord heard everything they said. It goes on to say the Lord's anger blazed against them and he sent fire, and the people called out and said, "Help, Moses, help us." So Moses prayed and the Lord stopped the fire. Then if you continue on to verse 4, it says, "Then the foreign rabble who were traveling with the Israelites began to crave the good things of Egypt. And the people of Israel also began to complain, saying, 'Oh, for some meat,' they exclaimed. 'We remember the fish we used to eat for free in Egypt, and all the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic we wanted. But now our appetites are gone. All we ever see is this manna.'" So the Israelites had been freed from Egypt. If you remember, they were slaves. They were in captivity in Egypt. And the Lord, through his mighty hand, brought them forth out of Egypt. Not only that, he performed miracle after miracle for these people. Here's a few examples. He sent all those plagues in Egypt so that they could walk forward free. He manifested his presence as a pillar of cloud and fire that led them forward out of Egypt. He created a path through the sea and then drowned the Egyptian army in it. He made bitter water drinkable, sent manna and quail for them to eat. He brought water forth from a rock, gave them victory over armies, and he was speaking directly to them at Mount Sinai. He's done these miracles, these amazing things, and then the Israelites became bitter and they become discontent, dissatisfied. They listened to the voices of, this translation calls it foreign rabble, but it's just Egyptians and other people that came with them out of Egypt that weren't Israelites. They start listening to that and they say, "Oh, if only we had fish to eat. If only I had melons and leeks and garlic." But hold up, remember, they were slaves before. They've been rescued from captivity, and all they can think about is wanting to eat fish. The Israelites complained and complained, and when they looked back, all they could see was what they were missing. They remember the foods and comfort they had, but they hadn't thought about the fact that they were in slavery and bondage, that they lacked freedom and were completely oppressed. They also had forgotten that God had set them free, made them a nation, and was giving them a new land. And how often do we do that, right? We're so consumed by our present circumstances that we completely disregard the work that the Lord has done, the things that he's taught us, and we start whining and wanting things like fish, right? Like maybe for you it's not fish, maybe it's a different house, maybe it's a different job, maybe it's a different relationship. Maybe you think, "Oh, if only I could lose 50 pounds. But yet the Lord has freed you from the desire to have to be that, right? Maybe you are saying, "If only I had a better job," right? But the Lord, when you look back, has set you free from captivity, and we keep returning back to it. The cost of the comfort food that the Israelites wanted: slavery. Slavery. They could choose comfort and slavery, or they could go forward into this new place. So the people were calling out and they're complaining. They called to Moses. Moses is angry. The Lord's angry. Moses took his complaints to the Lord. So it says in my footnotes that the Lord responded positively to Moses because Moses chose to go to him. The Israelites chose to bicker among themselves. So I made some notes. The first thing is, why are you complaining? Are you missing comfort of captivity? Why do you keep going back to it? Are you missing the comfort of captivity? Or are you going to set your gaze and let the Lord lead you forward? Because you can't do both. The second thing is, who are you listening to? See, in verse 4 it said, "Then the foreign rabble who were traveling with them began to crave the good things of Egypt, and the people of Israel began to complain." Who are you listening to, right? Are you surrounding yourself with people that make you crave things that aren't good for you, that make you think that you have to have more or do more or be more? Or are you listening for the voice of the Lord? And then the third thing is, who are you calling out to? See, the Israelites complained. They complained, and they talked to each other about everything they didn't have. Moses called out to the Lord. So today, I want to remind you, you've been freed, right? You're set free, but you keep going back to the burden of captivity for things like fish and melon, right? So today, it's a new week. It's a new month. The Lord is calling you to new places. Let's try to be women and men who choose to not complain, that take our issues to the Lord, that choose to listen to him above the voices of the people around us that tell us that things should be different or look different or seem different. And let's call out to him instead of other people, right? Let's look to him. I'm praying for you and cheering you on. Have a great week.